vaping with the Ohmies. 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 Welcome everybody, welcome to the show. Let me introduce you to some dudes in case you don't know. First we got Aziz all the way from Kuwait. Always got a point when it's time for debate. Oh my Lanta, some call him Dan. Got the dad jokes in the palm of his hand. Boom Sauce McNasty got his eyes on the news, got his ear to the streets, and he's down for the crew. Next up is Clown, the DIY king. Got a juice line and some coils that sing. Then there's a bear who's smarter than average, quick with a wit, his name Vapor Swaggins. Then there's the homie, we know him as Frames, and too many guests to remember the names. Together they make up this killer vape panel, so hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Vaping with the Ohmies. 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 Vaping with the Ohmies.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Vaping with the Ohmies. What's in the news, Poon Sauce? Alright guys, it's that time for Dan's dad joke of the week. What is going on, Ohmies? Welcome back for episode 18, I believe, of season 2 of Vaping with the Ohmies. As you can see, there's only 3 of the Ohmies here this week. We got Clown, of course, Poon Sauce McNasty, and myself, but we got some guests hanging out with us tonight. We got my man Overdrip. You can catch him with me every Friday on the Green Room, and of course Miss Michelle Lynn of Dole Dime Mods, and you can catch her every Thursday on Ruby Rouge channel for That's What She Said. So today, guys, we're just going to kind of run through our buffets as we usually do. I do want to shout out our amazing sponsors real quick. Huge shout out to OPMH. We are glad to announce a partnership with them. Of course, you guys will be finding out about anything new coming our way from OPMH when it comes to the Fountain Real Deal Custard or the Watson line. We'll be the first ones telling you about anything that's coming our way from them. And of course, if you guys are interested in any wholesale or distro opportunities with them, you can check them out at opmhproject.com, guys. So check them out. And also, huge shout out to Independent Vapor Company, aka IVC. You guys already know. Go check them out on their website. They have cut their prices down like super crazy, guys. You can go grab any of their 100 or 120 ml bottles, I believe, for like $11.99 of their branded liquids, and of course you can grab some affiliates over there as well, like they do carry the Fountain and a couple other flavors that are also OPMH brands, so you can check them out. Much love to them over at IVC. And other than that, we're just going to roll into the buffets and talk about what we are vaping on. So I'm going to throw it off to Michelle. I want you to start off this week. What you got? Oh man, boom. Dropping bombs. Just done. Oh, sorry about that. Now they can. My bad. Start over. See, there's always a dangle clack, man. Always a dangle clack.
Oh,
No,
dude, it's okay. I know how that goes. I know that pain from doing the wolf bite.
Well, I just like
Recorded
literally
full shows where you can't hear Frank.
I just literally set everything back up after setting all my laptop, microphone, and everything back up after traveling. And one thing I forgot to do. So sorry, Michelle. Go ahead and start over again.
I don't even remember.
You quit vaping.
I quit vaping.
Oh yeah, that's right. She quit.
That's right. I quit vaping. But if I hadn't quit, I would be vaping on a TM24 Pro with an Eclipse cap with some remixed Vaporfly Heavenly Clove and on some sort of a parallel box. That's my buffet tonight. And I would like to pass it off to
Go ahead and
Aziz.
pass it off.
Pass it off to Aziz.
Aziz.
Lights. We'll miss you, buddy. Hopefully you're doing well out there. Of course,
I
I'm
wanna
sure you
pass
guys
it to
all
Uncle
miss up
Chris.
there.
Can we just group watch Fifth Element now?
Right. Let's do it.
What's going on, everybody? Tonight I got a couple of things. I had to make sure I changed up a couple of things from Friday. I was like, oh, I don't want to vape everything the same. So tonight I got the Bonza with the Watofo Warrior on it from Johnny Drips and JMT Elite. And I think that there's something new coming from Johnny Drips, so that should be pretty cool.
I'm pretty stoked on that. Him and Heavy.
Inside that, I got some Millionaire. I just opened this bottle. Millionaire Raspberry. I'm looking forward to it. I've actually not tried this one before, so hopefully it's really tasty. My next setup, which I couldn't change from the green room, so I got the Arcless with the Cosmonaut on top, and inside that, I got Parade Maker.
IVC.
Dude, I've killed this bottle almost. Like, I opened it up on Friday for the green room, and yeah, I don't really have that much of it left. And lastly, I have, this isn't really super matchy, but I kind of dig it. It's the Ogvape Boreas V2 on the slim piece. And inside that, I got something else from IVC that I just opened up. I think it was today or last night. And it's from the Digital Underground series, Eloise. And it's a sugar butter cookie with vanilla ice cream. And it's pretty good. There's something about it that I'm not too sure if I really like it, but it's growing on me. I'll pass it off to Corey.
Okay. What am I going on with? Let's see. I got my overpowered stack with the Glacier. Inside of there, I got some straight up cake. Big shout out to Straight Up E-Liquid. And next, I got my DNA 75C single 21700 lazy vapor with the Flave 24 Evo on top.
Very nice.
And inside of there, I got vanilla bourbon custard from one of my buddies. And then I decided to get this guy out of the woodwork because it's been sitting off to the side for a little bit, so I decided to bring it back out. I got my LE Dreamer with the Ardent.
Very nice.
Very nice.
That was the aluminum one, right?
No, it's the
It's
copper.
a copper.
The LE. Oh, for some reason I thought the LE was aluminum.
No, they're coated copper.
Yeah, it's
I
copper.
got like a
It was like
chameleon
custom
coating.
colors, or was that the one
Yeah.
that was only two?
Yeah,
This
custom
is my
colors.
LE. Mine's the Cayman.
Oh, that was like one
colorway.
or something
There's
like
like
that.
three
right?
there's like three different
Mine's
colors.
back there.
And inside of there, I got some straight up candy.
Very
Ooh, he
nice.
finally opened the bottles from last year.
Yeah, dude.
They weren't from that. Oh, they were from this year, I think. Oh.
Where are
I
they,
could-
Corey?
Corey,
Where are they?
what is the
I
straight
could be
up
wrong. I
candy?
could be wrong.
What is a straight up candy like?
It's
Like,
like
what candy is it straight up?
I don't even know. It's like just if you had like a visual or like your tongue just tasted just no like specific candy, just like candy. That's what it tastes like, and I like it. It's really good.
You
And
should
finally,
write the descriptions on the back of bottles. Corey.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Flavor profiles. Sorry. go ahead.
And then finally, never leaves my rotation. I got Tormund, my Aspen Modco, Recoil Rebel on top of there, and inside of there, I got some fried Oreo.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
That's all I got going. How about you, Mr. Clown?
Hello. Alrighty, so we're gonna jump into it. Got the Paranormal from Lost Vape. Top of that, I got a Goon. In that, I got some Blue Sin.
Yeah, dude.
Dog
Mr.
right
J's
there.
Vape Solution. Go check it out. Clownvapes.com.
Right.
Is that an adjustable mod?
It's a DNA 250C.
Oh, that's nice.
It's really nice. Then I got my Ruby 21.
Ooh,
And
blacked
yesterday
out.
during the wolf bite, I was just getting all sad that I couldn't get any deep cuts at ECC this past weekend. So my wife was gracious enough to give me her bottle of Dragon Shake.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm
Now
rocking
that's
some of
love.
that.
That's love, because I don't know if I could give up my bottle of Dragon Shake.
Oh, I know. Trust me. She just handed it to me. I'm like, why?
Shout outs
She's
to
like,
Miss
'cause you wanted
Clownette.
it.
All the love to Miss
Yeah, right.
Clownette. She's awesome.
Hell yeah.
And then lastly, I got the Haku Phenom with the bolts
Ooh,
skunk
I
mod.
like that door, bro.
I know, right? It's custom stab wood.
Ooh, very nice.
And in that, I got some of that blast off.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, gotta wrap. Alrighty, cool. Let's take it over to Mr. James that way.
All right. Well, since we're on that train, I don't know where my bottle went, but Clown just held it up so you guys know. But I've got Blast Off inside of my Unicorn Vert. Changed it up, put the Black Turk on there, stainless bands with that one drip tip. Matchy. Next setup I've got is this one right here. I'm really digging this setup. Got a custom Palmer's powder coated Turk V2 at the show with the that OD. Yeah, that OD green to match my MDX 3-in-1 with a get off my lawn chop top, because you got to yell it when you say it's
Get off
supposedly.
my lawn.
And shout outs to 12 Monkeys. They hooked me up with some Mangabees this past weekend at ECC, and you guys already know Mangabees is like my favorite.
dude, that is
my
life.
absolute favorite. So big shout outs to them. They took pretty good care of me this weekend. Next setup I've got is this thing. Picked this up this weekend as well. The Gin.
Oh, you got
from
one of those.
Vapresso. Yeah, I've got the Blotto on top. Of course, Chop Top from DHD on top of that. Inside, hashtag
If I needed to buy a
Banana Land.
mod, I would buy,
Blue.
like, if I needed like an adjustable
This one
mod.
right here.
That's it, right there.
I love the way it feels in the hand. I really got to, spend some more time with it, to kind of get familiar with like the menu system, how everything works. But so far, I've been really enjoying it. I do love the way that it feels in the hand, and I like the texture on
That's
the
what
doors.
we-
That red
It's-
to black fade,
Yeah.
just oh my
Dude, the
god.
blue to black looks pretty sick too.
Oh no,
So,
yeah, but me, red and black, dude. Those are my colors.
Yeah, Boule Bolu inside of that. Got a couple little like all-in-one systems here that I'm testing. Got the Orbit TF from Sense. This has got some off the record. I was talking about these on my on the green room Friday. This liquid's pretty cool because each liquid has its own playlist that goes along with it. They partnered up with Spotify, and there's literally a little code thing you scan here on your phone through Spotify, and there's a complete playlist for each liquid in their line. So I
That's
thought that was
interesting.
kind of cool, and their liquids are actually pretty good. This one's a strawberry watermelon sour, and this one's by far my favorite out of the line. It's a really nice strawberry watermelon. The sourness is nice too. It's like kind of like a sour candy, dude. Really dig it, but it's not super overpoweringly sweet either. You know what I mean? I don't think it's gonna kill your corals or anything like that. But I've been really digging it. Next up, I've got I got this wrong the entire show on Friday, but this is the Ticks from Rinco. I was calling it the Tinks. I don't know why, but this is the Ticks from Rinco. It's their little all-in-one system, very similar to like the PAL.
At least you didn't call it the taint.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of very similar to the PAL. It's got adjustable airflow with like the pod up there at the top. This got some butterscotch custard from my man Overdrip on the inside of that. Love that juice, so of course I had to throw it in there, see what that's all about. And I think that might be it. Oh, and of course the Smoant, the Pasito, still rocking this with the RBA, and this has got butterscotch custard in it as well. And that's pretty much it for me. I did get a bunch of other stuff this weekend at the show, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But of course, it's that time. It's that time of the show, guys. You already know. After the buffets, we slide right into it every time. It's time for What's in the News, Spoon Sauce.
Okay, well, if you haven't been watching the past few episodes, we've been talking about this THC cardo thing that's been happening, where the media has been kind of blaming it on vaping in general, and we all know that everybody in chat knows it, that this stuff was done from synthetic THC cartridges or anything that people are buying off the black market. So just recently, this is from Vaping Magazine, the lovely Miss Angela Garrity threw this up for us. It looks like the CDC has finally kind of put their stance on this to where they've actually put out a health advisory to any kind of black market, any kind of aftermarket kind of CBD cannabinoid product, or THC as well. Oh, I said CBD, but so it looks like in this they actually said that they're not, because most of the tests they've done right now, because they're actually in this process of testing the stuff. So they've gotten around 80 samples so far that they're still in the process of testing. So what they're doing is they're putting the blame on the THC cartridges. We knew that because Wisconsin actually came out and said that, yes, this was false THC cartridges that were doing this. But right now, the CDC is actually saying that it's mostly in these THC and cannabinoid products, but they're not leaving vaping out of it, because they're saying they're trying to link in illnesses with vaping too, with e-cigarettes, which obviously, if that's ever been happening, it's been either, I would say, battery venting or kind of thing, to where it's a user error kind of illness that happened to where you get hurt or you get sick, to where it's like you're ingesting like pure nicotine sometimes, that people forget that there's times where people are dripping in Nick salt or some stupid shit where you're going to get yourself sick and then go to the hospital, all that shit. But right now, they're in the process. They put out an advisory for anybody going out there and purchasing THC cartridges. So everybody on here, this panel right now, can absolutely 100% agree. If you're ever going to buy this stuff, if it's legal in your state or anything, make sure it's from a reputable source.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't buy it off
For
the
sure.
street. Makes no sense.
No.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing, though. They were technically underage, so that does not help out the situation on a lot of these cases. You know, because if you can't get it legally, even if it is legal, you're not of age, you're going to go somewhere where you can. And it just creates a bad situation for everybody all around.
Absolutely. This is something that parents need to be aware of out there. There's something that's going around, and they got to pay attention to what their kids are doing, just as well as if, catching them vaping. You know what I mean? You have to know what your kids are doing. You can't just let them go out there and run the town and do whatever they're going to do, because then this is the type of situations they run into. You have to parent your children out there, guys. You can't just expect people out there to do it as well.
It's not the parent letting them go out, because honestly,
no,
man,
I'm not saying that either. But you're
gotta be one of those things that people have to ingrain in their children nowadays, where they might not have had to when we were kids, right? Like that's what they have to do. They have to work on things for years before they're even at that
educating their children about the possibilities of what could happen when getting hold of some of these types of situations or these types of substances, because like Corey said, this is kind of a newer thing, or like Clown was even saying, this wasn't necessarily something that we had to deal with when we were kids, because this wasn't around. But nowadays, this is something that's a lot more accessible, and kids are interested in it. So we just need to let them know about the dangers. We have to, because it's just with anything else. You know what I mean? If you're not of age and you're going out there and you're getting black market substances, these are the situations that can happen. Most of us as adults,
bad decisions though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like when I was 16 years old and it was legal to drink, but it wasn't legal for me to drink, I didn't go and find moonshiners and buy moonshine. And that's what these kids are doing. It's equivalent.
True, but I mean, at the same time, I feel like, moonshine is a bit of a skip and a hop kind of thing, because even though you're not looking out for moonshine, you could still get alcohol one way or another. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you don't think that people can, James lives in a place where you can get delivery because it's recreational in that state, right?
Well,
so
those cases, they didn't live in places where they could get delivery.
And that's the thing. That's where a lot of these situations are happening, because the availability is not there. So people are taking upon themselves to do it in their garage with whatever they can get their hands on, putting it out there and making the money because there's a market there for it. Because like
Were these all in like legal states or illegal states?
there was quite a few that were in illegal states. You know, it might have been medically, but not recreationally.
I can see it happening in legal states for one sole purpose, and that's because people might think it's cheaper.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to happen
Go
anywhere.
for the cheaper option. I'm going to give my state, for example. My mom has her card. My mom has her medical card and everything. And when she used to get it, she didn't get it from a legal source because of the price difference she was paying from when you're going to actual source itself, where all the paperwork's correct, everything is reputable, and has everything, the tests done and everything. She's paying probably $70 for a gram cartridge, to when you can go get it secondhand and possibly pay $35 to $40. Any logical person that doesn't know what they're talking about is going to go for that cheaper option, just because they're going to see them saving themselves money.
To kind of touch on something real quick, though, in chat, because Sada Horse Blue says kids are going to do what they want regardless of parenting rules, etc. And I agree with you, man, because I was one of those kids. But at the same time,
we all were.
If you don't put that out there and let them know about it, they're never going to, even think about it. At least if you tell them, they might think about it. You know what I mean? Because there were certain times where I was going to go and do something stupid as a kid. And I thought back to a time where my parents said something about a certain situation and, the possible things that could happen. And I not all kids are going to do this. I'm just speaking for personal experience. But I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Do I really want to take that risk? Is it worth it?
Honestly, when talking to your kids, is the fact that you make it such a bad, evil, taboo thing. That's really what drives it.
And that's the thing. Is like you just have
honestly
to tell
think
them.
There's a way to say it to your kids and not be like putting them down, like you better not try this kind of thing. There's a way to approach it, the correct way to approach it, that you would get in their head but not seem like you're scolding them. Like, if I catch you doing this, you're in serious trouble, because that's just going to make the kid want to do it more.
Well, you'll never stop all the kids.
Yeah.
No.
So I guess the goal is to get the least amount of these kids that are willing to buy these things. Like, shame on the people that are making them too. Like
absolutely.
Like, those people they're trash bags. I don't understand how people can do these things and like willingly.
Dude, that's the black market for you, bro.
I know, it's so sickening.
No, and that's like a lot of people with vaping. They're like, well, this goes all the way. We're gonna go black market. That's fine and dandy, but at that point, how dangerous will it get for the consumer?
Oh, dude, it'll get so dangerous. Think about
like
all the juice people.
How do we not run the risk of adulteration and e-liquids and stuff like that? Filler
even just
and
coils,
dumb shit like that.
People don't know how they store their wire or whatever,
or what kind of wire they're actually using.
Yeah.
Because at that point, they could be using non-vapable wire and shit like that. Because I remember for a while there, copper was something you could buy for coils, but you can't vape copper.
Not only that, but you can get somebody who's buying Canthol or buying nichrome and telling you it's Canthol, and you have a nichrome allergy or a nickel allergy, and you can get deathly sick from it or have a crazy allergic reaction.
Or back in the day when people used to vape.
Hold on a second. Have you guys ever heard of the saying buyer beware?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're paying half or less than half the price for a cardo versus dispensary, then you maybe your brain should be a little bit more concerned with why is it so cheap.
We should be a little bit more cautious, obviously.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But these are smart.
Yeah, but kids don't think that way.
Like that's the thing.
And back to what you were saying earlier, as the mom on the panel right now, if you make it a big deal, it'll be a big deal for your kids.
Oh yeah,
simple as that. Don't make shit a big deal, and it won't be a big deal.
No, just have the conversation. That's all you need to do.
Exactly. Well, that was kind of my point.
I've said this before.
Like a scolding kind of thing. Make it just a talk.
Like I've said this before, my parents made like alcohol a non-taboo thing. Like at the age of 11, they let us start drinking in the house and stuff. And by the time I hit my teen years, I didn't care for it. By the time I hit 21, I was just okay.
Clown, that's exactly what happened in my house. My parents were the same way. And then so when I got to college and everyone else was freaking out and getting, shit-faced, I was just like, I was over it. It wasn't a big deal to me. And, that's how you make shit not a big deal.
Or it's like I could see some of those like crazy parents out there to where it's like if they catch their kid smoking weed and they found like a bag of it, they're gonna put the bag down on the table. It's like you're gonna smoke this entire bag right in front of me.
That's not punishment though.
Yeah, dude, that's
that's
like fantasy.
No, depending on how much they
That's
have.
heaven.
Depending on-
You don't have the tolerance
Wait,
of certain
they
people
wouldn't
in
be
the
able-
panel.
They probably wouldn't even be able to get through the whole bag before they fell asleep, dude.
No. And
Yeah.
Oh, no,
may I just say this? That is literally my heaven. When I die, I just want to wake up suddenly at a table with a big giant bag of endless supply of weed, and I can just smoke weed forever.
It's like that one scene from Super Troopers. Whereas, what was it? I forgot it was the scene where they're in the back of the cop car and it's like, we're going to sit you and watch you smoke the whole bag. As he eats
remember.
the shrooms and everything, too.
I haven't seen it in a while, but I do
No, I
remember.
think that he ate all that
He
stuff
just ate it
before the
all,
cops
yeah.
got there, and then he started to freak out because he'd
That's
already.
when he
like,
licks the
ate
window
one.
and he says, "The schnozberries taste like schnozberries."
Yeah.
Come on,
Which is, I love that movie though.
great
Thank you
movie, great movie.
for that, Corey.
No, that was the scene where after they threw it out the car, they picked it up and they was like,
Yeah, but before that, the kid had eaten all the drugs.
yeah. It's like, yeah.
Which we
that's
do not
about-
condone, guys. Do not do any of that. That's just stupid.
It's just
No,
That is stupid.
Hollywood
It's just
movie.
Don't
you're,
please told
you're
me first.
asking
Not
you're
even
asking for
your bag.
trouble if you do something like that for sure.
That's what toilets are for.
In cars. Yeah. I mean,
Oh, well, I mean, never mind. Whatever.
Whatever, Overdrip. Whatever.
yeah. Sorry, Michelle.
I was just reading chat. Addy says, "Frames Janklin, you look good for coming off the con high. Vape Pics
Yeah,
is awesome."
speaking of con
Yeah.
high,
Nah, James is a veteran at this point. That's why.
Well, no, it's like my fourth show.
speaking of con high, yeah. Well, something happened this past weekend. James, you might be able to.
Yeah, so ECC went down this weekend in Ontario, California. Not Ontario, Canada, California. Otherwise, if it was Ontario, Canada, Overdrip would have been there, and I wouldn't have. But yeah, so that happened this weekend. Got to hang out with two really good friends of mine, two faithful stooges of the Stooge Crew community. Mr. Danny Castle, you guys know Danny. You've seen him in the vlog from NVE. He was like my travel buddy for that. He invited me and DC to come down. We got a room down at the Doubletree where everybody tends to stay at because it's literally like walking distance from the convention. And yeah, we hung out, man. Got DC Rackley out there, which is another great friend of mine. Shout outs to you, DC, if you're out there watching, dude. Hopefully you had a great weekend, dude, because I had an absolute blast. But yeah, it was a pretty good show. It was definitely smaller than some of the other ones that I've been to, and very, very pod-centric. Pods and disposables everywhere, guys. I just mean everywhere. As far as it went for hardware, wasn't all that much for that. There was a couple new there's a lot of new all-in-one systems, like like stuff like this, like the Ringco Ticks, the Orbit. They actually have a smaller version of this now too. It's like the Orbit Baby. It's like almost like a quarter of the size, or like half the size, I should say. And Grim came out. Grim and Homeboy did that collaboration with Hell Vape, that new Grim kit, which is something I'm pretty interested in checking out. It's kind of like their rendition of something like the Orchid or something like that, because it does have an adjustable wattage. It's got like a little display on there and all that. It does wattage and voltage, which is pretty interesting. I like the fact that they did that.
Option?
That I didn't really get to take too much. I didn't get to read through the packaging and see all that it comes with. I just got a chance to kind of vape on the device. But I believe there's a couple different coil heads that they're doing with it. I'm not sure if it's going to be cross compatible with any or anything like that. But cool thing about it is it does have a 510 drip tip. So you'll be able to accessorize it, with like your DHD tips or any of your other 510s, which is pretty awesome. And they got some pretty dope colorways. But yeah, that was pretty cool because that's the first collaboration we have ever seen from Grim and Homeboy with an actual company other than, doing it with Recoil. So I'm pretty curious on, getting my hands on one of those and checking that out. But most of the show, man, it was just me kind of, walking around, networking, talking to new people, trying to, see what new stuff's out there, stuff that you could possibly come up on the channel for review next, see what you guys might be interested on out there, and mainly just hanging out with DC and Danny. That was like the best part of the show. Those dudes are awesome to hang out with. Anytime I get a chance to hang out with Danny Castle, bro, you got to hang out with Danny.
Okay,
Dude.
dude, I'll take that.
He's an absolute riot. You know you're gonna be drinking good beers too when you're hanging out with Danny, because he's all into that craft beer. He's an IPA guy, which I'm not usually into, but he had some this weekend that were actually pretty tasty, and it was cool. You know, we hung out with a couple people that first night after B2B out by the pool and stuff. We actually met up with Phil, Vape Pics.
Before you get to the other folks, I got to ask you something about
what's
DC. Is he truly what is it, IRL in real life? Is he truly as like laid back as he seems?
Super chill. You talking about Rackley, DC Rackley?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Same dude. Super
Like,
chill, kick
just-
back, go with the flow. He's just like, he's all about it, man. And it was really cool actually getting a chance to hang out with DC in person. One of the fun things we did too is I actually helped him, get a better vape experience off of his Turk V2 RDA, because he wasn't getting the experience he wanted out of it. So we sat down, did a little live stream, threw a fresh build in there for him, and he liked it so much he ended up buying a second one at the show.
That's awesome.
He's like, yeah, now that I know where to put my coils and how to build it, I really, really liked it. He vaped it the whole weekend with Uncle Chris's custard in it, I believe. He was rocking the hell out of that. And dude, he was
some
super
addies
stoked
are so
about
much
that.
more like coil placement dependent.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of them, but most of them can be improved.
That, and it's all subjective too, because everybody might like it a little bit different. That's just
100%.
where I personally preferred my coils and where I personally got my best vape experience out of it. So I was like, here, bro, try them right here and see what you think. And he's like, dude. And it was like a 100% 180. You know what I mean? It was just it was awesome. So that was cool. But is there any questions that we got one right here from Anthony. He says, do you think disposable sub-ohm tanks with certain coils like a Falcon coil is the next step in our industry? I'll tell you what, dude, there was a lot of disposable sub-ohm tanks at the show as well. I think almost every other company had a disposable sub-ohm tank. None of them were, to where you could take a coil out and put a new one in it or anything like that. It was just, the coil's in the tank, you vape it, you fill it, maybe 5-10 times depending, and then you just toss it.
Like that Vaporgate one?
Yeah, I've got one of them in here somewhere. I've just got a bag of all kinds of stuff down here that I picked up. But it's from Innokin. It's called the Something Go. Let me see. It's probably at the bottom of this bag in here. Here it is. Right here. This thing right here. It's called Go Max. Multi-use disposable tank. I guess I think the retail price on them is going to be like $5 a piece, like $4.99 or something like that. It's a 1.9 ohm coil, 60 to 80 watts, 5.5 mils. I think they're using a mesh coil. Actually, let me pop this open. We'll take a peek.
Did you say it was a 1.9?
I think it's a 0.19.
Yeah, 0.19. Sorry.
Okay. It's like mouth to lung. Cool.
No, like when he said that, and then he said 50, 60 watts.
Sorry guys. This writing was really small, so I didn't. But anyways, yes, 0.19, and I think this might have a mesh coil on it. Let's see if we can look down in there. Yep, and that's going to be like a mesh coil. Doesn't say what exactly it is on there. But yeah, this is from Innokin. I actually had a chance to vape on one, and it actually had some pretty nice flavor coming through it. The airflow on it is adjustable, so you can get a tighter draw on it. Wide open, it was pretty nice. It's got like this slide to fill, so you push it back, slide it. It's got like your little grommet there. Close it, and they claim that you can fill this about 15 times.
Wow. Depending
That's
on
a pretty hard
juice.
claim.
Yeah,
That's
but
like
that's of course
juice depending.
that's depending on. Or was it 15? No, I might be wrong. 5 times I think it might have been.
Where did you say the ohm
I can
was?
see that.
Did you say 1.9 or 0.19?
It's 0.19.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they claimed it's about 85 mils of juice through one tank before you have to throw it. So that's not bad. That's about a 60 mil and a half. So you can get through like a bottle and a half of some liquid before you
Yeah,
toss
for a
and
lot
get
of
a new
people,
one.
that's like a week.
If you're a
Yeah.
beginner, it's fine. I mean, I just think that if you're vaping, like if you're in vaping for like the long haul, then it pays to get rebuildables and things like that. And you save a ton of money. But if it's someone who's
There's
just
always going to be those people, Michelle.
what?
Sure. There's always going to be those people that are interested.
Yeah.
Or people that want something for work that they don't care if it breaks or you lose it or
For
something.
me, this
Yeah,
is
that's
something
true.
like I would throw in my glove box. You know, so like if I go out on like a trip or something like that, or I'm out at work and I have a tank with me and I break the glass and I don't have anything else to vape on, I
That's your
grab
emergency
this
vape.
out of my glove box, fill it up, and vape on it. You know what I mean? It's just like
Instead of
that.
like keeping glass in your glove box,
Yeah,
you could
or
just keep that and change the
exactly. Or
glass when
like,
you
you know
get
how
home.
sometimes you keep like a little build kit in your glove box or something like that. So if you're out and you burn something, this is just so much simpler. You just throw one of these in there to get you through the day till you get home, and then you can grab whatever else you want. And it's a pretty cool idea. We do have a question kind of regarding this whole disposable pod and tank thing from Breezetones. He says, even with the pod slash disposable tank scene growing, do you see like the building slash hobbyist part of the industry was still strong at the show? Honestly, man, I'm gonna be kind of it was kind of upsetting because there was really not that many things when it came to rebuildables. There wasn't too many RDAs that I've seen. There wasn't too many RTAs or tanks or anything like that. There was a few, but most of them were older. They weren't necessarily newer releases or anything like that. Well, no one was really showcasing anything like that as much. There was like one or two newer companies that I've seen. But other than that, everything that was there was pretty much just a showcase. No one was selling anything. It was just like a premiere. Like, this is what we got coming. Everything's kind of dropping like the end of next month to the end of, October or November, that type of thing. So there wasn't really anything that super grabbed my interest when it came to the whole rebuildable side of things. There's a lot of things that I've already seen before. There's like maybe one or two things, but like I said, I wasn't able to, it wasn't available to like grab one up for myself to, really experiment with it and, test it out or anything like that. I just had to, try what they had there for the few seconds that I was at the booth.
Well,
But
it's
yeah,
been really dry though for like last.
it has been.
So I think that's going to be part of it.
They're
Doubtful
starting to.
they weren't pushing the Bonza or whatever. I'm sure like in the fall it's got to come back because it seems like everything is in cycles, and we've had a real long dry spell of not a lot of stuff, and there's been so many things that are pods or throwaway stuff. Like, I'm sure that there's still a lot of people like us that are like wanting new cool things that you can rebuild and play with other than just a disposable pod or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's still a lot of us out there that want that, so it's not like the world's going to stop producing them.
Well, like with the trend I've seen, usually when I see the stuff like you see the big burst of multiple products coming out at once, I usually see that between like the end of the year and possibly the beginning of the year.
Well,
And there's some, and then like throughout the rest of the year, it's a couple things here and there. But they try to get like, if they have stuff they've been wanting to release by the end of the year, you'll see them push it out closer to the end of the year, and then you have a lot of those companies that want to push out a new product to start their new year.
I think we're gonna see, because the it's a trend. It's like a circle too. You'll notice because like we're kind of resorting back to the super small, all-in-one kind of compact, little stealthy setups, and then we're gonna kind of start seeing it kind of. Now you're starting to see like some other things starting to pop up. It's gonna start cycling in, and I feel there's gonna be a not a flood, but there's going to be like a little bit of a revival when it comes to the rebuildable hobbyist side of things in the industry. Like Shane Oakley says that like Johnny Drips and Heavy Metal Vapor are planning on dropping a new RDA, which I'm pretty excited about. And I feel like if that gains a little bit of traction and it gets a lot of eyes on it, I feel like a lot more people are going to be like, maybe we should kind of move back into that way and see how that side of the market's going. And who knows, I think we might still see a lot of changes and maybe start seeing a little bit of innovation trying to start happening with certain things, especially with a lot of like these like all-in-one type systems. There are like one thing that I've seen that was a little different. Like I know you guys know about the IPV V3 mini auto squonk thing. Well, there's two other versions of it now, one from V-Sticking, and they actually have a rebuildable section available for it compared to the ADA, as they were calling it. So you'll actually have a rebuildable option, and there's a little bit of different features per thing, because you've got IPV, which is more of like the lower end, and then you've got V sticking, which is more of the middle realm, and then of course SX or Yeehee with their more of a high end thing. And the looks, you can kind of see it with the looks of the devices and also with the way that they operate. Each one of them has a little bit of some different features that go along with it, and like something like that, you can see that a little rebuildable auto squonk feature that it's pretty awesome. I like the original, but one of my gripes about it was that I wish that they did a rebuildable little RDA thing for it, so like if I wanted to, I could throw my own build, my own cotton in there and get my the vape that I like, compared to having to just figure out how I could dial that little coil and airflow in to get what I wanted. So I think that's pretty cool. What are some other things that maybe you guys want to
I don't know, like
the show?
I feel like we're in the age of convenience. What works the easiest with the least hassle. And even in like I talked to LabWorks a while back, and he didn't really elaborate all that much, but he told me that right now, with the whole European scene kind of taking over right now, it's looking like anything under 2 milliliters mouth to lung is kind of like what's really taking over right now. So I think that's where like the majority of the market's trying to push towards right now.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that. I think we've all kind of seen that.
I think it's also, though, because vaping is fairly new, right? You still have all these like offshoot companies and upstart companies that come out of China, and lots of them are the ones that put out some of these outlandish things at first, and then they might catch on, and then people try to do it. I think that over time things settle out, right? So maybe all these disposable tanks, there'll be some of them that survive, and other ones will go away because nobody will buy them.
Yeah.
Because they're not as good. Maybe because
let the market vote. Let the market decide.
Yeah, because I guarantee
like the drippers and everything else, right? Like if people buy drippers, China will make drippers. If
Yeah.
people buy pods, China makes pods. But I think it's going to just take a little bit of time for everything to even out, because eventually you'll get to points where a company might not try to hit every single part of the vaping market, right? They might only concentrate, like, you know what, we're really good at making mods. Our mods sell. Our addies suck. Nobody buys them. They start making mods more exclusively. The mods get even better because they're good at making mods. Same as RDAs, whatever else, right? Like lots of people like the Caliburn pods, and maybe even the smoke pods. Well, maybe eventually they'll be the ones that take the most of the market, and there won't be as many companies that are putting out a pod that are no-name companies because nobody buys them.
Speaking of companies that
It's a good point, though.
have not really, like, they've made one thing and just started going with another. Have you guys seen that new QP thing that people are seeing around? That new mod they're coming out with, the Fatal.
Kind of disappointing.
I want to know the exact specs on it, because I swear I saw pictures where it was a squonker. I don't know. People are saying that because with that only picture they've only seen one side, but the design of it looks like it would be a squonker. Just the way it looks, because you're only seeing the front panel of it. I bet you around the other side of it, where they're not showing anything, there's a freaking squonk bottle there. And I'll be really excited to see that, because QP coming out with something that they've made their way with the atomizer game. They've made the Fatality, and then they made the Cali and all that stuff. So they've made successful products. I'm actually excited for them to start going in a different avenue of trying to get into the whole mod side of things.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what they do with that as well. I am curious to see that new tank that they're developing too, because it's not only a direct to lung, but they have a mouth to lung, option for it as well. So that's pretty cool, and that's something that I've seen. I kind of see maybe happening is the cross between direct to lung and mouth to lung. Having cross compatible type of tank situations going on there, with like maybe a reduced chamber option for like a MTL type of vape, and then a bigger sort of option for like a direct to lung sub-ohm type.
I just think it's super cool that they're doing it that way, because the way that they did it with the Cali, I thought was badass.
Exactly. It's going to be like one of those nice.
They're giving you all
kits.
These options. Like the first one that I remember doing that was the V2K, but Cali came out really close after, and they had that, and I was like, man, this is customization at an affordable price.
Not only that, but dude, the presentation of it all too. Like
that's part of the vape experience too, is the presentation that you get the product.
Yeah, they have really nice boxes. But it's cool that you could be like, oh, you know what's this week? I'm gonna mouth the lung with this. I really enjoy it. And then the next week you're like, I want a real nice restricted lung. And then you set up the other part of that. Like to me, that's cool. You have one tank that can do two things. Hopefully it does it well.
Absolutely.
But that's cool to me.
I'm really curious to see that, and I'm very curious to get my hands on one of those Reload MTL RTAs because I checked one of those out because BAE Pics actually, Phil had one, and I got a chance to check that thing out, which actually kind of brings me to my next point. Addy Tooney asked me, please tell us about BAE Pics when you get a break. Absolutely, dude, because I gotta say he was probably one of my favorite people that I got an opportunity to meet and actually conversate with and have just everyday conversation with, as well as have some like creative ideas tossed back and forth between like the group of us while we were there. Phil is an super down to earth guy and so creative, man, and just like the way his mind works when it comes to photography and making things look how they look. Like he took some pictures of me, I'm sure a lot of you guys may have seen them on Instagram, and dude, he made me look good, man. I don't think I have ever looked that good in my life. And like the crazy part about it is he made the pictures, and like with the post that he put in there, he made it tell a story. Like just you could kind of see it just by looking at the picture and then reading the caption afterward, and then you go back and look and you can kind of see like the story in it. And it was crazy because like that first picture, I'm looking at myself but I'm not seeing myself, which is crazy because like I'm seeing like this totally different person with like these eyes that are just like so clear and just like peering, like looking into this. It's a trip, dude.
Yeah, if you guys want to check it out, Addy Tooney just put the link for those pics.
Yeah, and then he like
I was just trying to find them myself.
The crazy part about it is she's just like, hey man, you want to just like take some pictures or something? I was like, yeah, dude, might as well since I'm here. He's like, all right, man, come on. And then like I go back in his like little setup or whatever, and I'm just kind of standing there, and he just kind of looks at me for a second. And then he goes like this, and it kind of like pulls my shirt down. He's like, "Wait, what's this right here? Is this like a heart or something?" I was like, "Yeah, man. It's like I got a tattoo. I had 2 open hearts." He's like, "Dude, all right. So what I want you to do, I want you to pull the shirt down. I want you to show me the heart, bro. Just show me the heart." And then he kind of like takes a step back. And he starts taking a couple shots. He's like, "All right, now we'll kind of like turn this way." And like his whole creative process was insane. And then after that, he's like, "All right, well, And then, like, cause he gets kind of serious when he's doing it, and then after that, he's like, "Dude, these came out dope, man. So, you want to do like a Vaping pic or something?" And like, just like it's like super cool. And then he's like, "All right, so I want you to like." And then when he starts getting the creative mode, like you can see it in his eyes, he just like kind of looks at you. He's like, "All right, so I want you to just like take a vape, but don't pull it away. Just like let it out." And like I did it a couple times, and it came out super tight. And the cool part about that is like we went to the hotel room, up to his hotel room afterward, sitting there having a beer. And he pulls out his laptop and literally starts editing the pictures right there with me and DC. And like he's like, "Oh, dude, I like the way that this looks black and white." He's like, "I'm gonna kind of clear this up here, maybe do a little something with that." And then he goes to the next picture and he's like blacks it, like does it all black and white again. He's like, "Dude, I have some ideas for this. I want to kind of clean this up a little bit." And he's like, "This one's gonna be cool." And then I didn't see what the complete thing was gonna be until the next morning. And literally, I'm sitting out on our balcony, drinking my coffee, having a vape. And he's literally catty corner across from the pool, sitting out on his balcony, and he sees me, he stands up, he's like, "Hey bro, so what do you think, man?" I was like, "Dude, like, so sick." And then like right after that, Kent comes up, right? And Kent gets his pictures done. If you guys didn't see Kent's pictures, you had to be there during the whole process of it, because like Kent's sitting there, and there's like 2 dudes like sitting there like flipping Kent's hair up in the air. And Ken's just sitting there.
Really?
One on each side, just like flipping his hair up in the air.
Because I saw that picture. That is funny.
Yeah, and he's just like, and then we were sitting there talking to him afterward. I'm like, "Dude, he kind of looks like he's floating in water." He's like, "Yeah, dude, I could do like this thing where it's like got like bubbles around." He's like floating in water. He's like, "But I kind of have a different way to go with this." And like, he totally went like mythical Greek god type situation with him, with like the glow behind him and all that shit. It was crazy, man. And then he took DC.
That
like,
one,
"Dude,"
yeah.
he's like, "We gotta like do something to accentuate that beard, bro." And he looks at him. He's like, "I wish you weren't wearing that white shirt, man." So he literally goes and grabs a black shirt from underneath his table that he had to wear the next day, gives it to DC, says, "Bro, put this on," and then like takes DC back there, and like he's sitting there, like posing DC all crazy, like trying to get like his beard to come out, and he does like this dope ass purge shot, and then. Dude, he made him look like a fucking Gandalf the Vape. as I
Right.
called him.
Gandalf the vape.
Yeah,
They all
dude.
look really good. I was just looking at yours and Kent's and DC's, and they all look
Dude,
amazing.
he did a killer job, man. Best pictures of me ever in life, right there. Like,
They're
so
better
crazy.
than every single school pick. Eh?
Dude, puts them all to shame, bro. Like, it looks so good. My mom went to the show with us the next on Sunday, or went with me on Sunday, and we went by the booth and stuff like that. And we were talking about it beforehand. She's like, "Yeah, I saw those," and it's like kind of made me think. I wonder if he does family portraits. So it's like we should have went up there and got like some pictures of me and my mom. I should have done that. That would have been kind of cool.
Dude, a
Photog-
vaping family portrait would have been badass.
That'd been dope.
A good photographer has like that eye, like they have that perfect eye
Yeah.
to accentuate. I can't say the fucking word right now.
Accentuate.
Wait,
Thank you, to make you look really good. You know, like sometimes I'll be doing gigs and like while I'm playing, like I'll see a certain photographer in the crowd and I'll be like, oh fuck yeah, we're gonna get a good picture out of tonight. Because like certain photographers, they just know how to get that right picture that not only looks good, like technically, but it also makes the subject look good.
Yeah. It was super cool just getting to see his whole process. We kept going back there periodically throughout the show and just seeing who he had back there and like what crazy poses and stuff that he was doing, because there's points where he even took people out of like the whole corner that he was in and was just taking it in the middle of like the aisles, like in the show and stuff, just like doing all kinds of crazy shit. And it was pretty cool, man.
so he was doing like photos for like anybody.
Yeah.
Like that went out there. Like you could just be like, hey.
Yeah, I'm not sure like how it all went down and stuff like that, because we were there the B2B day. There's no one really there, and so we were just sitting there chatting. He's like, "Well, hey man, let's take some pictures since you're here." And but yeah, he took some dope pictures of a lot of people. Like did some pretty cool shots, stuff like that. So that was a pretty cool experience getting to hang out with him. Just the show in general was a lot of fun. It was a real lot of fun for sure.
B2B is my favorite, just saying.
B2B is cool because you get the opportunity to actually stand around and talk with people that you don't normally get a chance to talk with on like the public days, because the booths are so busy. Like I was able to have conversations with like I said, Phil and Eric. I didn't run into Grim or anybody that day because they were kind of doing their running around and stuff. But I got a chance to talk with a few people. We ran into DJ LSB. He was like one of the first people we ran into at the show. It's always cool catching up with Daniel. And then, of course, Tony B and everybody was there. Did get a chance to talk with Joel, Mr. Dress Right One, for a good amount of time. We hung out with him a few times after the show, kind of out by the pool, had a few beers, had some conversations and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool.
Did you get to drink with Tony?
Yeah, not Saturday night. We all were sitting there having a few drinks and stuff like that out by the bar. I was hanging out with him, Matt Bennett from Bennett Tool Customs and his partner Evan, and they got me to try to attempt to channel my inner Tony B, but it kind of turned out to me trying to tune into my inner Stanacious when he wears his fedora, because it didn't look good on me either. But the funny thing about it is like Matt's got a pretty nice sized melon, right? And I've got a pretty average size shaped head, and he goes and takes my hat off my head and just drops his hat just like straight on me, and it just goes down over my eyes and everything. And he thought it was the funniest shit in the world. So he was like, all right, dude, we got to take a picture. And then Tony B comes by after, and we show him. Tony starts dying, and then he goes and grabs his hat, literally drops it on top of Tony's, and like fits over top Tony's hat, just like fucking right over it.
I gotta look at you just wearing one hat.
You got a big head,
That's
bro.
funny.
But it's always cool hanging out with Matt. I met Matt like the first or second ECC I went to, and it's always kind of cool getting to catch up with him and Evan. Two super cool dudes. We're actually had conversations about possibly getting them on the green room. Who knows? We might be able to grab them for on the Ohmies and stuff as well. That was one thing I did too, was try to talk to some people about coming on the different shows and coming hanging out with us, letting them know what's going on. I do have a possible guest lined up for here on the Ohmies that I'm going to talk to the guys about, that I think will be pretty interesting and be pretty informative for you guys out there. I'll definitely let you guys know more about that when we get some more details panned out and all that stuff. But other than that, guys, is there anything else that you guys really want to touch on before we wind out? Because we do only have a few minutes left. I know there's a couple other shows going on after us.
Ooh, I had a dad joke I sent to Dan.
No.
I have the backup dad joke.
Well,
you
while
gonna-
Corey's thinking of that, why don't we do like a liquid or a juice of the week real quick? Because I have mine right here, and I'm gonna say this off the record. Strawberry watermelon sour. It is BSSM is the name of the liquid. Really good stuff, guys. I've been really enjoying this. Been rocking it in this orbit. Because I want to test this out. It's got a mesh coil in it, and the flavor on it's spot on, guys. So I've been really digging this. They have a couple other flavors, and one thing, like I said, that I really dig is like each liquid in their line has its own specific playlist that you can scan on the bottle that pops up
James,
on Spotify. So
James, I want you to listen through the playlists and tell me which one was the best.
I'll do
Aside
that.
of the juice, I want to know which playlist was the best.
I'll do that. That'll be one of my projects throughout the week this week.
Just do a review of a playlist and a juice.
Dude, that'd be kind of a cool idea. I might have to do
Yeah.
that. The only thing is that I won't be able to listen to the playlist while I'm doing the review because of copyright strikes.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, that's a good idea. So yeah, that's gonna be mine. What about you, Klein? You have a juice of the week this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this guy, the banana cream cookie from Mr. Overdrip over there.
Ooh, I'm jelly. I need
Dude.
to try that one.
We got a bottle right here.
yeah.
That.
I don't know. Like me personally, this is like a full-on like banana pudding type situation for me. You get that like vanilla wafer kind of taste. You get the banana, and I hate banana. I'm just telling you right up. I hate banana flavored things, so I'm really digging on it. So
Nice.
really
Very
need to
nice.
try it when he goes all out with it.
You hear that,
Sauce.
Dan? There's no rump banana there, Dan.
Yeah, Dan.
Dan and your
Dan
friend.
has no taste buds.
His mouth's broken.
What about you, Corey? You got a juice of the week?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that straight up cake.
Ooh,
awesome.
straight up. Shout outs to them. Shout outs.
Awesome
To them.
stuff.
That was cool too. I did get a chance to hang out with Dylan and Taylor this weekend. Always a good time getting to catch up with those guys. So much love to
yeah.
Dylan and Taylor. What about you Overdrip? You got a juice of the week?
I'm gonna go with
Ooh.
this, even though I just opened it. I vaped a bottle of the original Millionaire, and this is basically the same, but it has like that raspberry kick. I also just realized I'm vaping it at 120 watts, and it's 6 milligram. I was like, man, this is really harsh juice. And then I finally looked at the bottle, and it's 6 milligrams. So
Derp.
that kind of makes sense now, but it tastes really good. So this will be my pick: Millionaire Raspberry from IVC. You can get I think a 60 ml bottle of this for like $9.99. Killer price for a great juice. And I'll pass it to you, Michelle. What's your favorite juice of the week?
I'm gonna go with Parade Maker is hers.
Well, that would be a good call.
I
I'm
would-
gonna take a long shot. Something with clove in it.
Anthony Romella sent me a clove juice that I opened on That's What She Said. And yeah, I said juice because it's a fucking free country. And I haven't tried it yet. So, I mean, it smells really good, but I haven't tried it yet. So I don't have anything.
You could just say clove. It's okay, Michelle.
Say clove.
Clove, in
Yeah.
general, clove
Clove for days.
for days.
All right, Corey. Do you have one?
Yes,
You
I
got
do.
it? All right. Go ahead and
wait.
drop it on him, man. It's time for
So-
Poon Sauce's dad joke of the week.
I think Erica had it better.
Uncle Croy's joke of the week.
Yeah, I
Uncle
like that.
Croy's
Uncle
joke of the
Croy's joke of the week.
What do you call a bear with no teeth?
I
A
don't know.
gummy bear.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's
Oh, that was so
That's like
bad.
not even a dad joke. That's like an aunt joke.
That's a Dunkle Croy joke.
That is an Uncle Croy
That's
joke.
That's what that is.
100%. 100%.
Uncle
Well,
Croy.
anyways, guys, we do want to thank you guys all for tuning in. Of course, I do want to say I'm in the middle of editing the vlog that I'm trying to get up for you guys on Wednesday for the whole ECC experience. I will say there's not a whole lot of footage, but there's some cool stuff that I'm gonna put together for you guys. So there should be at least a little bit of a vlog for you. Of course, you can stay tuned to Clown Vape's channel. Clown, you got anything coming up this week you want to tell the people about?
Vlog, and we do have a special guest lined up for Wolf Bite on Sundays now
Ooh.
at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time
Very nice.
over on my channel.
So make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell over there. Of course, you can catch Corey on Wednesday. What you got going on Wednesday, Corey?
Me and Mr. Sean Typhon will hit you guys again with another What's in the News segment. And then Saturday, I might be having a special guest. Just to give you a little teaser, he might be in chat right now.
Oh.
Right now, I think
No,
so.
it's a he.
I gotta get with him and make sure everything's squared away. But you might be seeing a very special guest on Saturday afternoon, so be prepared for that.
Shane Oakley dropped the dad joke in chat. I want to read it real quick. He's like, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs on the front porch?
Matt, what do you call a guy with no arms, no legs, and hangs on the wall?
Steve.
Art.
Oh, what do you call
What
a
do you
man with
call-
no arms and no legs in water?
Carl.
Bob.
Or Bob.
Carl.
Well, if he's at the bottom of the ocean, then he's Carl. If he's floating on the top, then he's Bob.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Anyways, guys, thank you guys all for tuning in for episode 18. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, right here, Vaping with the Ohmies. As always, we're going to end it how we always do, with all those positive vibes, crisp high fives coming your way, and let's just vape on, Ohmies.
Goodbye.
Go team.